All right, getting back on track. There's some things that I want you to understand tonight. Number one, I hear this quite often in the GPS because it talks to me. It's not the voice of God, but when you're lost, it's pretty close. Route recalculation. If I pass a road, if I've messed up, if I've made a mistake in the trip, and I've overshot my turn, the computer kicks in and says, route recalculation. And what this little thing does is it goes through and all of a sudden it tells me, now that I've messed up, you're going to have to do something different. It recalculates the route. And I hear it quite a lot. If we're going to get back on track, that's the number one thing we've got to do. I can't tell you how many people that I've talked to or counseled with over the years that know they've messed up, but they can't admit it. Are you with me? They know they've done wrong, but they can't admit it. We can't make a change in direction if we first can't just say, I missed the turn. And physically, traveling, I've done this over and over and over through the years where you just overshoot a turn, you just go right on past where you know you should have turned, and guess what? You got to change your course, don't you? Because what happens if you don't? The farther you go, now men are the worst at this, amen, ladies, huh? It's just in our nature. I mean, we're just determined that if we drive a little bit further, that we're going to find a shortcut. No, it's time to recalculate our directions. It's time to make a change and admit that we've messed up. I didn't turn when I should have, or I turned when I shouldn't have. I got to make some changes. We have to acknowledge that, first and foremost. What was that? Oh, well, see, that's why God gave us women. First came women, then came GPS. So you recalculate your route. Secondly, you have to pass the past. Now, how many of you have ever missed an exit on the interstate? How many of you have ever turned around after you've missed that exit and missed it again? That's terrible. Now what's really bad is when you miss an exit and you don't even realize that you just missed the state that the exit was supposed to be in, and you're not even in the right state. Actually, no, I didn't. This is a true story. This is a true story. And the number may not be correct, but anyhow, I was supposed to get off at exit 45. So we're driving along, and I see exit 43. And I look over at my wife, and I said, we're almost there. We drive a little bit further, and we come up to exit 47. And I look at her, and I said, I didn't even see the exit. We must have been talking something, but we must have been carrying on or something. I didn't even see the exit. So we go, now that we are past 47, I have to go up to 48 or 49, whatever it is, turn back around and come back to exit 45. So we come back and we're coming back, and I see exit 47, and I look at her, I said, I'm not going to miss it this time around. We go from 47 back to 43. There is no exit 45. And then I realized that we weren't in South Carolina yet. We were still in Georgia. What's that?
No, short term.
I and you've gone in the wrong direction. And you've got to get back on track. And you've got to get back to where you need to be. Guess what? You're going to have to go past your past. Now this hurts. Now you don't have to visit your past. But you will encounter your past. Tell me, what is a drug addict's biggest nightmare? What is an alcoholic's biggest nightmare? Well, what is our greatest nightmares, our biggest fears when we think we've overcome something, is that we'll have to face it again. But if we're going to get back on track, now here, this is just the facts. If we're going to get our lives where we need to be, I'm not talking about just sweeping it under the rug and acting like, well, it never happened, or, well, we can just move on from here and, and forget about all that. Guess what? If you're really going to overcome something, if you're really going to overcome it, there's a time when you're going to have to look it in the eye and say, I don't need to go there anymore. You passed your past. You may turn around, you may have to drive directly right past that wrong turn that you made. But in the process, as you're going past, you realize, I don't need to go there anymore. That's not a part of my journey. Are you with me? That's getting back on track. Is when we realize that we've messed up and we turn things around in a direction that we suddenly realize, I've overcome that one. That's one mistake I won't make again. That's one exit that I won't get off anymore. That's one place that I don't belong. Are you with me? It's a part of getting back on track. Now the third area in our lives is that you have to deal with delay. Guess what? Now that you've made a wrong turn, it's going to take you longer. Are you hearing me? It's going to take you longer to get to where you want to be than it would have taken if you would have went directly there to start with. And any one of us, in order to get to where we would like to be, guess what? It takes the same amount of time. It's just a matter of when you're going to start. Because the longer you wait to start, the longer it's going to take to get there. Or the more wrong turns you make along the way, guess what? It causes delays. Now you can beat yourself up over the delays that maybe you have caused yourself, or maybe that circumstances beyond your control have caused you along the way. You can beat yourself up and you can mully-gub around and you can say, oh, well, I didn't have a chance, or nobody ever gave me a chance, or this never happened for me, and things just never... we can just mully-gub around the rest of our lives, or we can decide from here on out, I'm going to make the right turns. I'm going to follow the coordinates. I'm going to follow the roadmap. I was late for performing a wedding. I was seriously late for performing a wedding. Gave them plenty of time to rethink things. But I was late because I didn't know where I was going. As much as I thought I knew where I was going. Now here's the reality in things. There is a comfort in thinking that we are going in the right direction. You hear me? It feels good to us to think that we're moving in the right direction. If we're headed in the right place. Even if we're not, just the fact that we think we are feels good. You see? But then when we're not, when suddenly we realize we've messed up and we've gotten off track and we're way over here somewhere and there's this long delay, we start getting frustrated. Guess what? You can't change it. You can't change it. All you can do is get back on track and keep your eyes fixed forward.